Max, do you think Jerry should have come out and publicly said this?
Sure, and it's not an issue to me of should he. It's that, look, the Cowboys are Jerry Jones. It's not the other way around. And if you think that, well, it's because the Cowboys brand, so players are going to want to play for them anyway. How often have we heard kids coming out of college, I want to play for the Cowboys? Stephen A. will tell you the fans are in every town. I grew up in New York, Jersey, all the boroughs. You find Cowboys fans, a lot of them, unfortunately. But it's not simply because of that brand that they all want to play for the Cowboys, because we saw what happened to the Lakers after the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss and before Magic Johnson. You couldn't get guys to take their money. You couldn't get players to take the Lakers' money. So it's not simply the brand. It's that you talk to players around the league and players who've played for Jerry Jones. They feel loyal to him because he's loyal to them. Whatever you think about Ezekiel Elliott, Stephen A., or enabling the wrong kind of culture or whatever it is, one thing about Jerry Jones is he is incredibly loyal to his players. And to a man, the guys who played for the Dallas Cowboys, who I know and have spoken to through the years, feel they were treated well by Jerry Jones. And that helps the Cowboys because it perpetuates the idea that that's a franchise that young players want to play for and players around the league and free agents would love to go to because you have an owner who always has your back no matter what.
Well, that's not applicable here as far as I'm concerned. Jerry Jones needs to be quiet. And the reason why is because it's residue. The backdrop of all of this is Jerry Jones coming to Ezekiel Elliott's aid, talking about there's no evidence and all of this stuff as it pertains to the whole domestic violence issue, and coming across as flagrantly insensitive to the situation at hand. And so now we go to something on the football field where there was a clear dereliction of duty performed by Ezekiel Elliott in terms of his effort. You got Hall of Famers like LaDainian Tomlinson calling him out, talking about he's quit. You got other players, guys that have been in the NFL who are analysts and what have you. They pointed out the same thing. We had Ryan Clark on our show yesterday. They said he didn't quit per se, but he was petty. He was childish, those kind of things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you acknowledging that and leaving it at that. To turn around and to say, well, he wasn't the only one, what are you talking about? Where's the evidence for that in terms of how guys flagrantly conducted themselves in terms of their effort? And why would you pick that to sort of come to the defense of Ezekiel Elliott? Maybe it's because he's going through so much. You want to be sensitive to him. You want to give him the support and guidance that he needs. But listen, the fact that he's on the field alone makes him one of the luckiest guys on the planet right now. Football should be his sanctuary. He should be somebody that's going out there and handling his business. Max, you'll know this just as well as I do. There was somebody that went through something and got accused of something. And it was in Eagle County, Colorado. And he was a star for the Los Angeles Lakers. And this brother, his name was Kobe Bryant, would have to be in court in the morning and would come out that same night flying back into L.A. and drop 40. You see what I'm saying? There's something that comes along with it because when that level of adversity exists off the court or field of play and you've caused that kind of distraction, you've got to make up for it on the field. Ezekiel Elliott didn't do that this past Sunday. So there's nothing wrong with Jerry Jones highlighting that, look, you didn't get it done for us on the field today. Now, we're going to support you. We're going to stand by you. We're going to do what we can to uplift you. But you got to help us by making sure that effort is something we never question.
That's rational.
And to sit up there and point out, I'm saying it's rational and I understand it, but it's Jerry Jones we're talking about here. If it was Ezekiel Elliott and he's irrational, we could understand it because he's 21 years old going through what he's going through. Jerry Jones is a man in his 70s who's a billionaire that don't have any issues with the law. He's too busy trying to keep Roger Goodell from getting $40 million a year. So what is your problem with acknowledging that a guy just didn't show up on a Sunday afternoon?
Because what
it's
you're
ridiculous.
saying, because what you're saying is rational. It makes intellectual sense. But that's not the feeling that Jerry Jones gives his players, that if it's, if X, then Y. The feeling he gives them is in the gut. It's that I got your back.
Oh,
and
really?
by the way, and I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying this is the reality, and this is the effect it has around the league, I believe, in terms of players wanting to play for the Dallas Cowboys.